Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that.
They said Gucci Mane isn't really Gucci Mane. That's Hobson. They gave him plastic surgery to become Gucci Mane. And now they saying Damar Hamlin isn't Damar Hamlin. And if you ever watched the TV show The Boys, you know about Noir. You know how Noir died, but they had somebody else come back to play him. That's crazy.
Kanye West just dropped a bomb. He said something that made the internet explode. They cloned Gucci Mane. Yeah, you heard that right. Not copied his style, not imitated his sound. He said they cloned him. And what sounds like just another conspiracy theory has layers, deep, dark layers that go far beyond just Gucci. Because if you follow the timeline, if you trace the clues, and if you really listen to what Kanye and others have been hinting at.
And control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Well, not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
This might not be about just one rapper. It might be about the entire music industry and what happens when an artist gets too powerful to control. So let's rewind. Back to the moment Gucci Mane, real name Radrick Davis, walked out of prison in 2016, and the internet collectively said, "Hold up, who is this?" Because that wasn't the Gucci Mane people remembered. The man who came out of that federal penitentiary wasn't the same one who went in. He was slimmer, calmer, sharper. His face looked different, his teeth perfect, his demeanor completely changed. Fans joked at first, "That's not Gucci, that's a clone."
Girl, you don't even know the real Gucci. Y'all think y'all know the real Gucci. Y'all don't know the real Gucci. That nigga parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. That's not him. I don't know what the fuck, honestly. Like, last time I seen Gucci was at Patchwork Studio in 2010. Cold Blooded was there. Was Mojo there? Yeah, I think Mojo, Cold Blooded. Like, that's the last time I saw Gucci in the flesh, but even...
But then the joke started to sound less like a joke. See, before he went in, Gucci was chaos. He was the face of Atlanta's trap scene, the man behind a movement but also a walking headline. Arrests, fights, wild interviews, unpredictable rants. He was the embodiment of raw, unfiltered energy. Then prison, 3 years gone, silence. And when he came out, boom, he looked reborn. The tattoos were faded, the beer belly gone, the aggression replaced with peace. His speech was smoother, his eyes more focused, even his voice seemed higher. Fans started piecing together screenshots, comparing jawlines, tattoos, smiles. Some claimed his ink had disappeared completely. Others swore the bone structure didn't match. And then Kanye West stepped in, cryptic as always. He dropped a line in the Champions track that made people freeze.
Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that.
Now that Gucci's home, it's over for you Gucci clones. And that one line sent shockwaves through the culture because Kanye wasn't joking. Kanye doesn't speak by accident. Every time he opens his mouth, it's coded, layered, intentional. So what did he mean? Was he talking about rappers copying Gucci's flow? Or was he hinting at something darker, something literal? To understand why Kanye's words hit so hard, you have to understand who Kanye is. He's not just a rapper, he's a whistleblower in disguise. For years, Kanye's been saying that the music industry isn't just about art, it's about control. He's accused labels of owning artists' souls. He's talked about contracts that feel like slavery. He's ranted about cloning, not biologically, but psychologically. The industry, he says, doesn't just want your music. It wants you, your image, your energy, your identity, and if you refuse to play by their rules, they'll replace you. Now, when Gucci Mane walked out of prison a completely different man, Kanye's lyric didn't feel random. It felt like confirmation. Because Gucci had gone from a rebellious, uncontrollable force to the clean-cut, smiling face of the new, corporate-friendly trap scene.
Free Gucci, you thinking what I'm thinking? Man, some ain't right. Gucci, is you in there? It's so blank.
He wasn't causing chaos anymore. He was hosting fashion events, doing commercials, writing books. He was, how do we put it, safe. So when Kanye said they cloned Gucci, fans took it as him blowing the lid off something big. Let's talk facts. After Gucci's release, the transformation was extreme. He went from 300 pounds to shredded, from reckless to disciplined, from the wild Atlanta street legend to a polished, almost corporate figure. People close to him said it was all real, that he'd gotten sober, started meditating, worked out religiously, and found peace. But others said the math didn't add up. How do you completely change your face, your demeanor, and your energy that fast? Why did his old tattoos look faded? Why did his voice sound different? Conspiracy theorists claim the real Gucci had died in prison, replaced with a body double to keep the brand alive.
Been playing for about 8 years now. It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said, you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family. And it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah.
They pointed to a government agenda, another example of Project Monarch or MK Ultra style manipulation. Sounds wild, right? But here's where it gets crazy, because Kanye's not the only one who hinted that the entertainment industry has a habit of replacing artists. People have said the same about Eminem, Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, even Dave Chappelle, artists who came back different after disappearing for a while. They looked off, acted often, and in the case of Gucci, his turnaround was almost too perfect. Now, whether you believe in literal cloning or not, here's what matters. The concept itself represents control. When artists start thinking for themselves, when they stop being obedient cash machines, they become a problem. Labels don't like problems, they like predictability. So what happens? You create a version of the artist that fits your narrative. You clean up their image, you market them differently. You erase the controversies, you rebrand them, and suddenly the rebellious artist becomes a puppet that makes everyone comfortable again. That's cloning in an industry sense. And that's exactly what Kanye West meant when he said, now that Gucci's home, it's over for you Gucci clones. He wasn't just clowning rappers who copied Gucci's flow. He was exposing a machine that manufactures personalities. This wasn't Kanye's first time dropping coded messages. Remember when he said he was fighting for his soul in his contracts? Or when he told the world they can control Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they can't control me. He's been warning about the same pattern over and over. Powerful artists become too self-aware, and then something happens. They disappear, they change, and they come back different. To Kanye, Gucci's story was symbolic. A man who once represented raw, street-level authenticity came back perfectly molded into something the industry could sell. He wasn't supposed to be a cloned body. He was a cloned brand. Let's talk about the real Gucci Mane, the one from East Atlanta, who built 1017 Brick Squad from the ground up, discovered Young Thug, Migos, and Waka Flocka. That Gucci was chaos and genius wrapped into one. He'd fight anyone. He'd drop mixtapes back to back like he didn't sleep. He was unpredictable, dangerous, magnetic. That Gucci couldn't be controlled. And that's exactly why he scared the industry. When he went to prison, a lot of people thought his career was over. But when he came out, the new Gucci was clean, articulate, smiling, engaged to Keisha, Kawir, talking about investing and staying positive. Fans were happy for him, sure, but they also couldn't shake the feeling that something had been replaced. Let's look at the timeline. In May 2016, Gucci was released from federal prison. Within days, he dropped new music. Within weeks, he was in top shape. Within months, he had a new book, endorsements, and partnerships ready to go. That's not typical for an artist who's just done years behind bars. That's rollout behavior. That's rebranding. Even his social media presence changed. The wild, unfiltered Gucci, who used to post everything, was replaced by a team-managed, perfectly curated profile. He talked less about the streets and more about gratitude. He talked less about beef and more about peace, almost like the old Gucci never existed. And when fans started asking questions, they got shut down fast. Let's strip away the science fiction for a second. Cloning in pop culture isn't just about DNA, it's about programming. The industry doesn't need a lab. All it needs is control. You can clone someone by controlling their narrative, their image, their interviews, their music, and their money. You can isolate them, reshape them, reintroduce them, and convince the world this is who they've always been. That's what happened with Britney Spears. That's what happened with Amanda Bynes, and that's what many believe happened with Gucci Mane. And Kanye, being Kanye, called it out. But instead of the world listening, people laughed. Just like they laughed when he said his label was manipulating him, just like they laughed before every one of his crazy claims turned out to have truth buried inside. Why Gucci? Why him? Because Gucci was powerful. He wasn't just a rapper, he was a gatekeeper. He launched entire careers. He had a movement, and the kind of loyalty he had in Atlanta could shift the industry's power balance. If he stayed reckless, he was dangerous. But if he was reborn, if he was suddenly clean, brand safe, and profitable, then he was perfect. Perfect for the Grammys, perfect for endorsement deals, perfect for mainstream America. The clone theory wasn't about body doubles, it was about image doubles, right? And Kanye knew it. Think about it. Kanye himself has faced the same accusations. After his breakdowns, hospitalizations, and reappearances, fans claimed the new Kanye looked off. His tone changed. His eyes looked empty. Even his mannerisms were different. And what did people say? They cloned him. So when Kanye pointed at Gucci, maybe he wasn't exposing Gucci. Maybe he was warning us that it could happen to anyone. And the industry doesn't just replace people who died, it replaces people who stop obeying. Now, Gucci has laughed off the clone theory multiple times. He's even joked about it in interviews saying, yeah, maybe I am a clone. The old me was crazy. He uses it as motivation, a way to say he's changed. And maybe that's all it is. Maybe the transformation is real. Maybe it's growth, not cloning. But the reason people can't let it go is because of how fast it happened, how corporate it felt, how prepackaged it looked. People don't change overnight, but brands do. Kanye's line about Gucci was never just about Gucci, it was about the system. A system that rewards conformity and punishes authenticity. A system that turns real people into marketable products. Gucci's transformation was the perfect metaphor from chaos to control, from danger to discipline, from rebellion to respectability. And while the public cheered his comeback, Kanye saw the blueprint. He saw the machine at work, and once again, he said the quiet part out loud.
For every artist who makes a comeback, there's a graveyard of versions of themselves they had to bury first.
The version that didn't sell, the version that scared investors, the version that wasn't profitable. Gucci's old self, wild, fearless, unpredictable, didn't fit the industry's polished new image of hip-hop. They didn't want a man who spoke his mind. They wanted a man who smiled for the camera. So when Kanye said they cloned Gucci, he wasn't being crazy. He was being prophetic. He was saying, look at what they did to him. Look at what they'll do to me. Look at what they'll do to anyone who won't play the game. The real Gucci Mane, clone or not, paid a price for freedom. He lost years behind bars. He lost credibility among some of his core fans. He lost the raw edge that made him a legend, but he gained peace. He gained family. He gained control, at least on the surface. And maybe that's what this whole story is really about. The balance between peace and authenticity, between freedom and control. The industry will let you live, but only if you stop fighting. Only if you let them mold you. Only if you let them make you their version of yourself. That's the real cloning process. Not a lab experiment, a psychological one. So was Gucci Mane really cloned? Probably not in the way people think. But was he transformed by the system, reshaped by the same machine Kanye keeps calling out? Absolutely. And maybe that's what Kanye was trying to say. They don't need to clone your DNA to own you. They just need to clone your identity. Because the industry doesn't kill artists, it replaces them. And the Gucci we see today, whether you call him reborn, reprogrammed, or reinvented, one thing's for sure. He's proof that in the music industry, nothing is what it seems. And that's the story they don't want you to know. The story behind the smile, the abs, and the diamonds. The truth behind Kanye's warning. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Gucci Mane was cloned? Or was it just a man changing his life for the better? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because this story, it's not just about Gucci, it's about every artist who dares to evolve in a system that punishes authenticity. Hit like, tap subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because here at Buzz and Drama, we don't just chase gossip, we chase the truth behind the illusion. See you on the next one.